I'm going to be honest, it feels off making a video about Hero High again. Not because of the length of the episodes or because of time, like quite the contrary, I love these episodes. But it's actually interesting that in the last 2 months since the video came out, we have 8 more of Online Wonders and started other series like Marathon, which I'll continue sooner than later, I promise, free to play or free to pay, as well as developing more on what I want the Grey Line and this work in progress of a production studio to become. And in a way, things got bigger and better after Hero High and just revisiting Lara's work. But enough melancholic talk, let's dive into the story. Which, despite covering 2 episodes, they're brief, straight, and to the point, which is by no means a bad thing. While I don't have a problem with things keeping a longer pace for the sake of building things up, One Piece, I can appreciate when a story decides to simply move on with the plot. And it also brings the ideas in a way that's suitable for the theme of this story's world, in which the Sheikah are part of the family's heritage. It humanizes the elements of the story in a more believable way since, in case you may not know, that's still a thing. There are plenty of families that keep their traditions and heritage in a subtle way while still trying to adapt to modern cultures. And it goes without saying, but I adore these character designs. Mina stood up for a lot of people, but just look at all the stuff going on with the backgrounds. Yes, they're all fitting to the Zelda universe, but when it comes to having Soras and Ritos, we get a variety of types in which you will see some on the styles of Ocarina of Time, others in Breath of the Wild, or even Wind Waker for the Rito. I love simple yet important details like that. It gives the environment a lot more diversity while taking advantage of the huge world that inspired this story to begin with. And in terms of story, they don't really establish by this point any reason why it's not possible to have female players in this world Smash. Haha, I see what you did there. And I can see some people saying, well, that's accurate given how sexism is still a thing and all, like, which, yeah, it is true. But I'm being literal that there's not even like a school rule or anything in particular. It's just, nope, she can't. Which, hey, it's a minor thing, but I feel it could have gone somewhere in terms of world building. However, because of the way Z had to dress up according to the Sheikah clan, she manages to blend in as a guy, which, hey, it makes circumstances feel more organic rather than just being convenient that she just so happened to dress up like that, or to pass by like a tomboy or something. And despite being short-lived, I do appreciate the way they managed to make Link a proper character for Z and Debbie to interact with, despite not having any dialogue.
She took my headphones.
Well, would you look at that! It makes him seem like just an awkward teenager that has slipped some shit yet still likable and supportive of his friends. Great job so far. But he does look like an addict when she takes her headphones. But hey, I have been there. And speaking of great but short-lived moments, I love the choreography of the action sequence between Z and Rock. It's a very great sign of things to come while showing the specific way they work the concept of Smash in a less arena-based environment. It brings a lot of the rules of sumo wrestling but more dynamic with the abilities that can be pulled off. Also, this was mentioned in the comments of episode 2, but I love how fitting to Ocarina of Time is it that the moment Z takes out the Sheikah outfit, the principal finds her out. It's just the little things that makes you appreciate a work made by fans for fans, while still being entertaining for those that just want a good animated project. Although one thing I noticed that again is a very small thing that I might have missed is that Rock mentions that Z and Sha, that's how they call her version of Sheik, have the same eyes, yet they have different eye colors. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it was odd to have that as a similarity. Again, nothing really big, but it was something that I noticed. And just to cover things that aren't that big of a deal, one thing I was curious since the first episode was the introduction of magic, more specifically the awareness of magic being a thing in this world or not. It's just something that was odd for me that everything will be set in a more down-to-earth universe of Zelda, then we get the story of Link actually becoming a wolf like in Twilight Princess. However, not only is there a sense of self-awareness within the show about the rules of Hyrule, but there's never a point where they mention that magic doesn't exist, so at this point in the story, it's a bit of a wild card all things considered. And yeah, I know that it shouldn't matter given that this world still has all the anatomies and elements of the series, but I think it's worth mentioning it since it was something that I kept thinking while watching the episodes back to back. And Debbie's idea to make sure Z manages to keep playing so she can also promote her music is totally fitting to the school trope. And once again, their personalities are the highlight of this project. I love Z's sassy attitude toward the situations she gets in.
Z, I've had a vision.
In the janitor's closet.
It
smells like sweat and frustration in here. How is that possible?
As well as Debbie's over-the-top behavior.
The judgy kids like to heckle during free periods.
Hey, cool suspenders, you dweeb!
Yeah, that's what your dad said. Oh my gosh, I don't know where that came from. What does that even mean?
And since we got a chance to know these characters a little bit more, I love Rock's personality. He's a giant teddy bear, which, hey, for school tropes fitting to the big pro sports guy, I prefer that over him being a jerk meathead. But alright, the plot has a purpose within the characters and goals to reach out, so I cannot wait to get the set of what do you mean this might be it? Alright, let's talk about this, and keep in mind that I have permission from Laura to talk about these topics and to understand that no matter what I mention here, she's part of a team that put their heart into this and she is my friend nonetheless, so let's keep things respectful, shall we? I'd like to show you this little trailer that was re-uploaded for upcoming online shows. You can tell there are a number of series here, and hey, Hero High is included there. Now take a look at this final part. Yup! Hero High was originally part of the upcoming content for Happy Hour, which was the section in Machinima dedicated to animated projects, like Sonic for Hire and Battlefield Friends, which I made a video about a long time ago, check it out. And this is important because it was Machinima who was funding the production of the show, with the first season being 5 episodes long and already having a direction for the second one. But when Machinima got shut down, all the projects became part of Rooster Teeth since from my understanding both companies were the property of the same area. But don't quote me too much on that part. What you need to know is that Rooster Teeth was supposed to take the projects from Machinima, but as soon as they could, they simply shut down every Machinima related project that wasn't their property to begin with. You might have noticed that they released an 8th season of Sonic for Hire by Lowbro Studios. The thing about that though is that season 8 was already in development and almost finished by the time Machinima ended. So Rooster Teeth simply went out of their way to post something that was already finished instead of actually working on the department for the lost Machinima projects. And while we can all have our own thoughts on whether or not this decision was in the right to do so or not, since after all this is way more common than you might think in the industry. I mean, we just got the weird timing of Blue Sky Studios getting shut down as a decision made by the company's owner, Disney. I want you to keep in mind that in a similar fashion, people that worked hard on a project was simply took down without any chance to continuing with their projects and well, continuing their jobs. Fan-based or original, these were still projects that had people putting their heart on it in terms of writing, storyboarding, animating, voice acting, editing, sound mixing, which I should mention that was improved in the last 2 episodes. There's just an effort put into it and people were delivering their best to make a project worth the investment. So while that's the way it is, it does suck that Rooster Teeth simply canceled what was supposed to be a new department to keep Machinima projects going. Hell, even that season of Sonic for Hire got removed and can only be found through re-uploads. Don't get me wrong, you may have noticed that I said this might be it, since according to Laura, they managed to work on those 3 episodes before the ending of the company, but they still might be able to release the last 2 episodes of season 1, if time and opportunities are available. It might still take way more than just the monthly basis uploads that have been going on so far. Now, with the time of getting to experience the online world with a different eye since I started this series, I completely understand if Laura and the rest of Studio FXB would rather to just move on to other projects. After all, as I have stated in my Total Drama Reunion episode, there is a chance that despite Rooster Teeth turning down on the project, they might still find a way to claim it as theirs if it goes well. Not to mention just Nintendo being a thing that exists. That's obviously a bigger risk. But if you want to see more of this, please show the support, not necessarily financially. In fact, I don't think Laura has a Patreon or any sort of that way to support. But as cliche as it is, do give the series a like on each video, share them, and subscribe to our channel. Those methods really help showing a content creator the motivation to keep working on a project. Engagement helps productions to keep going, which applies on both online and traditional media if you wonder why are The Simpsons still around. Especially because, given the major thoughts, this is a great showcase of what Laura and her team can create. It has amazing animation, lovable characters, and a vibrant spirit that is just worth supporting in order to push Studio FXB to higher levels. So yeah, share her work and show your support to her. Since you didn't hear this from me, but I know she has a lot more stuff planned for you guys in the future. And I do mean beyond what she said in the update. Thank you so much for listening, and I think I need to also bring a hard project of mine again. Okay, let's see if I understand what you told me just correctly, okay? Huh! I just saw a literal monster coming out of that castle. I just woke up without my clothes nor my memory, by the way. And you're just telling me that I had to go there and fight that freaking thing? Despite the fact that maybe we cannot even go from this place without me going just... So, am I missing something here? I just want to be sure. Now, I can confirm you have collected the information quite well. Okay, let's just assume that I go along with this little idea if I go there and try to kill myself in the process. Can you just tell me how we're gonna get there? Well, hello there, young man. You have certainly caused a lot of noise, young man. I think I'm gonna hate you. Hey everybody, as you can tell, I'm recording this after the fact, like after the video was done. I am definitely tired because I still have to finish the editing for this. And well, just to let you guys know, I'm still working on my Twitch channel for the whole osteoporosis team for my mom and her whole medical situation. And we're still on the 10% goal, which is like, we're at like 410, 400 something dollars. I still need to check back on that on Streamlabs, but we are gonna continue with this on twitch.tv/AGM down something Gamer Mexicano. So again, please consider following because we're gonna keep going with this during the weekend and maybe even during Friday if there are enough people to keep going with this as soon as possible. So again, if you cannot donate, just spread the word, just everything they can do to just make the stream more entertaining, because that's technically what I care about probably the most when it comes to making a Twitch channel. It just so happens that my mom's situation is getting to this point. So again, thank you so much for listening and watching this video. And maybe as a final thing, I do want to thank Laura so much for talking to me about all this stuff. I know it wasn't an easy topic to bring up. So again, I just want to like make sure that it's very clear that I am grateful for her just telling me all this stuff and majorly for being my friend. So again, take care.